1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. I think I'm live on my main YouTube channel. Today I have a few topics I want to cover. And the weather is good for a bike ride. Today I have DJI Osmo Action 4 over RTMP wirelessly, going into the server on my phone, Android phone, Samsung S20 FE, and then so that's going into one of my apps, MediaSrvr app. That's all it does, is just it can run RTMP server. The next app, LifeStreamer. Actually, let's go to this street. It looks good, I think. Actually, give me a second. I need to lower the volume of all my monitoring. Okay, that's a bit better. And myself, so you can see me. So this is me. I'm doing public stream today. I used to do a lot of private streams, just testing, just to test different things. Actually, monitoring stuff working. There's I need to switch it. Is it? I don't know. Give me a moment. This should work. One, two. Unless media output should work, so I'm not sure why it doesn't work. Camcorder 1, 2. Anyhow, I'll switch back to RTMP. Okay, I can hear myself again. Maybe there's a few. I have a lot of different buttons, and sometimes they should, in theory, work in all flows, in all possible sequences, but some don't. So it's good to test. That's why I'm doing a lot of testing. Okay, so like I said, today DJI Osmo Action 4 going into my Android phone over RTMP. LifeStreamer app can watch that stream and restream it as SRT with dynamic bitrate. I'm using Belabox algorithm today. And then that it's going into Bond Bunny, that's my app number 3. It uses 2 SIM cards, so I have iPhone 8 it's doing Wi-Fi, so my Samsung phone is on that Wi-Fi, and that's how it gets a second SIM card. Around this area, I'm not sure. Oh, there's lizards everywhere. The reception is generally pretty good. It's a bit hard to focus. I need to prioritize, you know. Survival around here. It's this area is relatively quiet, but you have to watch out when you're riding bicycle for different dangers. And DJI Osmo Action 4 over RTMP, if it works, it works good. I'm sending, I'm matching what official app can send 6 megabits from the camera. I'm using, you know, with iPhone, I'm using Moblin as a remote control. I only use Moblin for remote control for my DJI Action camera, because originally the reason I got iPhone in the first place is to just allow raising bitrate. Official app can only do 6 megabits per second from DJI, but Moblin can raise it higher. But at the same time, even though you can set it, I guess, to anything you want, Moblin can go up to 20. But I usually don't go over 10. Actually, after doing lots of testing, even 6 is pretty good. So I am testing 6 as if people only have Android phone, they would be using DJI Mic, official DJI app. So I kind of want to match that. It should have the same look and everything. It's a bit more, I feel like it's just really convenient. With Moblin, it's less clicks. I just want to quickly get it started, so that's really good. I just want to quickly start this RTMP stream and know if it works, if it doesn't. So that's really good. The Moblin app on iPhone really, what's the word for it? Optimize that flow. It's a bit ridiculous that official app is not as good as unofficial, you know, for this particular use case. There's just too many screens and it's waiting for different things, so you lose a lot of time with official app. With Moblin, it's really quick, really fast, because it's really optimized for RTMP. That official app, you know, I guess main flow, they optimize it so that people would like record videos, browse the videos, they record it, and then live streaming is a bit of a second, what's it called, overthought, or it's not the main focus of this app. So what can I say? Recently I've been testing a lot different things over USB. This camera I can also connect with USB cable directly to my phone. It's a slightly different look. It's everything is slightly different, but it's an option. So there are those two options, either USB or RTMP for this app. With other cameras, they usually only allow HDMI, so you would need to have capture card to convert that HDMI to USB that this phone can accept. But this RTMP, if you, like I said, from the streamer's perspective, you just want to quickly start everything up, and if it has issues, you want to restart and fix issues quickly. So if you find a way to make it easier, I think it's justified to get really cheap the phone for mobbling, to just have the remote control. Like if you can make that part easier, it becomes usable. You can use it with official DJI app, but like I said, it just there's too many screens to click through, and I don't want to go in too much depth explaining why it's not great, but yeah, it's not the best. It's usable if you, yeah, it's okay. It works. If you really don't want to get an iPhone, any kind of iPhone. So today I'm saying from LifeStreamer app, that's like a core of everything, of course. It's a Live, LIFE. Again, the reason it's called LifeStreamer is because it's IRL, it's in real life. It's meaning you are outside working around instead of sitting at home and streaming from your computer at home. That's how I understand it. So that's why this LifeStreamer app is for IRL kind of streaming, for streaming outside. So it you need a bunch more different things, and I was thinking about it last couple of days. I always kind of try to make sense of it. There's some things people just say, do this, do that, but I try to reflect and think, do we really need all these tools? So the reason we need all these extra tools, just because we want to stabilize this signal. And somehow, after doing a lot of thinking, I think the core of this feature is actually dynamic bitrate. I think is probably number one thing you want. It's not even just SRT. It's not SRT with any dynamic bitrate. It's SRT with a really good dynamic bitrate that's reactive. It can quickly react to changes in network if you start losing packets. There's different things app can react to. So I had to figure out. Belabox, and I don't know how, but a guy who created Belabox, Rational, his name is Rational, somehow he's some kind of genius or something. Like, he invented all this this dynamic bitrate or adaptive bitrate algorithm, and apparently it's like no one can top it up. Like, that's the best algorithm in the world, apparently. I know for mobile app, people tried, because it has a license attached to it, which requires, it's a bit restrictive, meaning you have to make your source code open source. So for some commercial products, it might not make sense. For example, I'm curious how they solved it for like IRL Pro app. It's a closed source, because the core of IRL Pro app on Android is Larix SDK, which is sort of a paid product. It's not allowed to make that code public because they want to make money. They sell subscription and stuff like that. So it doesn't make sense to make it public. because they want to sell it. If anyone can just steal their code and make their own app from it, then they won't be able to sell it, right? And so IRL Pro, the core of IRL Pro is the Larix SDK, but the IRL Pro can also use SRTLA code, which is this specific type of bonding that we need for IRL streaming. And I think they have some kind of agreement. I read Discord and stuff. Looks like Rational said if he really wants, he can make exception and he can license for the particular individual, or I guess a company, he can make a custom license. So somehow I don't know, they have some kind of a deal or something when IRL Pro is allowed to use SRTLA and another SRTLA is also part of it, like dynamic bitrate algorithm, which is has a license. That license, the main condition of the license is that you have to open source the code for your project. But I think maybe IRL Pro has some custom dynamic bitrate. Like I said, there are two main things: dynamic bitrate and bonding, which both of those things Rational, the creator of Belabox, invented, and those things are public. The bitrate algorithm and the SRTLA, it has two parts, sender and receiver. At least the sender is public, and receiver, the latest version of the receiver, he sells it as a Belabox Cloud, and there is some early version of it. There are some forks. If I'm not wrong, there's a guy in Norway, Data Good. He has a good fork of that SRTLA repo where he has a good receiver that other people can use. And then there are some other unofficial SRTLA receivers and such. It's funny how my brain, I think in my last video I was here in the same places, and I feel like unconsciously I'm just repeating the same route. So again, I'm monitoring, left ear monitors the mic from my phone, the RTMP audio from DJI camera, and then my right ear monitors the stream on YouTube. I usually, by default, I stream to, I have this other channel that's private, and I have like, what's the word for it? More private. I usually, by default, I have everything set up to stream privately and test things. And occasionally I do a public stream if I think it's worth it. And then I guess I have to, I switch to a different mode, you know, I have to talk differently I assume someone can watch this video, so I have to work harder, you know, generate content and all that. Say something meaningful. And I use it, yeah, I guess I can just explain a few things. Like I said, so there's that. Okay, two main things for IRL streaming. There are different tools, but in the core of it, they want to have this dynamic adaptive bitrate, and they want to have this bonding, and both of those things, Rational, a guy who created Belabox, invented, I guess. I don't know how, I don't know this. It would be interesting to dig through Discord and see if he has done some research, or if he's some kind of expert in this. I don't know why is that he knows this stuff. That's good that no one else could improve upon it. Like I said, Moblin has its own version of the adaptive dynamic bitrate, and they also like playing around, tweaking this bonding, but apparently the core of it was so good that you cannot really improve much upon it in a way. So those two projects, SRTLA project is open sourced, and Bela Coder is open sourced. It has dynamic adaptive bitrate algorithm. And then Moblin is also open sourced. So for my apps, I just, I use a bunch of AI, so I ran it. I'm not as smart, but I understand many things, and I ask AI, explain me the logic and like all the calculations and things, and I feel like I have a good understanding what's going on there. But and I validated it many times. I ran it. There's so yeah, like I said, dynamic bitrate algorithm. From what I've seen in IRL Pro, it's not open source, but it was mentioned that he's tweaking it, and that guy who created IRL Pro, William H., he's really good as well. I think he's a smart guy. He's the only guy who worked out how to implement all these things for Android, and that's great. He proved that it's possible, right? And then I guess I'm sort of the second guy who I was able, I have those two things, bonding app that can do SRTLA that Rational created. It actually uses his code that I slightly modified for Android, and then I keep tweaking it. But I try to stay true to original, because I know it just works. Like you can tweak it, you can probably make changes to it, but the core of it is so good that it doesn't need any modifications. And then, so basically, something I want to re-emphasize, that Rational, the guy who created Belabox, his ideas were so good that they could be applied to other platforms outside of this. Belabox has to run on this particular hardware, which is a Linux, and it doesn't really run on any Linux. It's like it runs really good on this particular hardware, Orange Pi Plus and a few others. But his code, that's written in C, I think, in C. So that C code is something you can rewrite to, I guess, iOS and Android. Android can actually, it sort of has this Java, which is also sort of, Android is actually also kind of a Linux, right? It's a kind of a Linux. And that means it can run the C code. So actually I had the benefit of, after doing a lot of experimentation, I was able to I realized, I can actually run the original code. I don't have to rewrite it to Java, because originally I think I had the Java version of it. So my bonding app, Bond Bunny for Android, it's actually using the native code that's open source from the SRTLA code. Dynamic bitrate, I think I had to adjust. It's Moblin had a version of it rewritten and slightly modified for iOS, and I feel like the dynamic bitrate part is the way LifeStreamer app, my Android app works. It's built on StreamPack SDK, which is developed by kind of a French guy, and he's still actively maintaining it or developing it. He just this morning he asked me. I mean, it's fascinating that I'm a part of all this, which I never planned to be. Yeah, he just messaged me on one of the Git issues and asked me to test some of the mutex locks. Ah, yeah, that's a golf thing. So where was I? Well, like I said, the problem, people maybe who wasn't as obsessive as me, they don't realize that, yeah, again, Belabox guy, he invented those two main things. One of those is really good adaptive / dynamic bitrate, whatever you want to call it. It means once it monitors the performance, like you send in data, and one of the things it monitors is like a packet loss and a few other things. And when your connection or when any of the packets are lost, it's like it understands, okay, we're losing packets, we need to do something about it. So because I'm wireless boy today, I can do these things. I can just get off the bike and I don't have any cables attached. I have the DJI Mic. That's how it looks like. That's this Insta360 necklace, magnetic, and I just use it to put my mic. Oh. The bike has fallen because the wind is too strong, so it just fell. So something I noticed with the RTMP, there's like 2, 3, 4 second delay or so. Depends. Officially, my app has 2.5 buffer millisecond, 2.5 seconds buffer. Anyhow, what I'm trying to say is that the delay is bigger when I'm monitoring. So on my Android phone I have the, I can show you, right? I can show you. So that's my phone, and I can see the preview, and the app is open in, it's in full screen, sort of taking up the whole screen. That's how it works the best. The phone is not locked or anything. You probably cannot see it well, but and I'm sending, by the way, I'm sending full HD 37 megabits per second. I'm sending H.264, not HEVC, and I can push it. I can send a bit of a higher bitrate because it doesn't need to work as hard. Let me turn down. It's really hard to. I have to double check. One, two, 1, 2. One, two, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. I can hear myself. That's good. I like to hear myself. At the same time, it's so disorientating. Like I said, there's a delay, and if I'm not using RTMP and I use USB as a source, it has less delay. It's almost instant. But RTMP has at least 2 point. I have, like I said, the buffer set in. It's like 2 point. Let me check something. I think my bike has some issue now. Just because it fell. Maybe now something's misaligned. Okay. Okay, I think it's fixed now. Anyhow, what time is it? 11:44. It's pretty good time. And today it's very windy. I usually have my DJI Mic 2 under my t-shirt, and it's enough to block out the wind. But today it's super windy, so I put the dead cat on it, the wind field protection thing. And I think it works really good. I don't hear any noise, wind noise. So like I said, the RTMP from this camera, DJI Osmo Action 4 in particular, I know there's 5 and 6 and people test those. I don't know how good RTMP from those. I heard it's not very good. But Action 4 overall is pretty good, both RTMP and USB from it. And compared to GoPro, you know, it's really easy to connect external Bluetooth mic directly to it without the receiver. The quality is good. I don't know if I can connect two things. I think Osmo Action, no, Osmo Pocket can connect two mics without the receiver. I'm not sure about Osmo Action. Probably Osmo Action cannot do two mics. I'm not 100% sure, but I usually never need two mics, so that's not an issue. Okay, so this is a golf. It's one of those golf places where you just shoot your balls into this field, and I saw there's like a special machine that collects all the balls. I sort of went to a place like this once on one of my work events, but it was for a very short time, so I didn't have a chance to enjoy it properly. Okay, let's go. Where do I want to go? I want to go somewhere. So like I said, all the apps in the world, I guess, will have to use now the inventions from Belabox, dynamic bitrate and bonding. But the problem is, I don't know if it's good or bad, but the creator of Belabox and all these things, the license from it is restrictive. It requires your app to be open source. So will that limit progress? Like, it can demotivate some people to do it, but the good thing about it, for example, my apps are open source, so it's not a problem. But IRL Pro is not, and I don't know how. Maybe IRL Pro had to build their own, he had to build some other dynamic bitrate algorithm. But that guy, I think, is really smart, so he probably knows what he's doing and he could develop his own. But SRTLA, which is bonding, which is sort of extension of SRT, so there's SRT protocol. It's really good, but protocol itself doesn't care about the dynamic bitrate. So bitrate is part of the video encoding, so it doesn't care about that. But what it cares about is sending packets. So SRT itself has a sender and receiver, and SRTLA is like an extension of SRT, sort of unofficial one. It also has a sender and receiver. So SRT sender and receiver, they put a lot of thought into it, and it can support all the like advanced professional things. But SRTLA, like I said, it's something that Rational apparently has invented. So since I was playing around with it, it sits kind of like between SRT receiver and sender. So imagine, you know, app or something it encodes video, right? And then it can send SRT using SRT sender to SRT receiver, right? So and that usually it thinks it works. It just sends packets, and packets, what packets have is just parts of the video and audio. Let's say video and audio are just like it's literally a string of zeros and ones. So you chop this text string, you group it into groups, put it into packets, and it has like address and things like that. So, and it says, okay, go from this computer to that server. And so different things on the network all over the world, they just like help to push through this packet through a bunch of networks to the destination, to the IP that's in that packet. So that packet arrives to that server. Hold on, this guy. So like I said, the server and destination, it has packets arrive. So that's what SRT receiver is in charge of. SRT receiver just receives the packets, like and rearranges them and puts all the zeros and ones back together, right? So there's video. Let's say video was encoded, and there's just it's a text string of zeros and ones. Audio is encoded. And then there's a mixer thing, it just like mixes bits of those video and audio frames together. And so in the end, all you have is just really this text string of zeros and ones. And then SRT, what it does, it takes the string of zeros and ones, puts it into packets. It like gets whatever 40 characters or so. It like grabs 40 characters, boom, packets, puts it into packets, sends it. And then so SRT sender just does all the packing into packets. It just chops this one string of zeros and ones into chunks and sends them out. And then the SRT receiver receives all these packets. They could come in a different order, and it knows how to reorder them and like recreate the original string of zeros and ones. And then it goes through demuxer. So what demuxer can do, it knows which zeros and ones belong to video and audio. So it separates this one string of zeros and ones into two strings, like one is this video, one is audio, and it figures out like the audio frames and video frames. Anyhow, so demuxer is just like separating out the video from the audio, and then feeds that those zeros and ones to video decoder because they are encoded, and then video decoder can basically play those video and audio frames. That's a bit of in-depth stuff for you, but so once you know how that works, and you're like, okay, there's on iOS, on Android, on Linux, you essentially doing the same thing. You have this like video and audio is encoded into zeros and ones. It gets muxed, meaning it's a multiplexer, meaning there's multiple things. So video and audio mixed together, that's a multiplexer stage. And then demux is like demultiplexing, meaning it separates video from audio. Anyhow, that's how I think about it. And so if you know that, so video encoding, so dynamic bitrate, it's a part of the video encoding. It has nothing to do with anything else. So video has to be encoded into zeros and ones with a different bitrate, and it will have just overall less zeros and ones if the bitrate is smaller. So you have to send less text around in those packets. But the SRTLA, why I was saying all of this, now you will understand how SRTLA fits into this. Like I said, the SRT sender and receiver usually is created to send packets over one connection. So SRTLA, it's a relatively simple sender and receiver. It also, all it does is sends packets. But SRTLA in particular, what it does, if it has more than one connection, it can pick, it has like, boom, SRTLA, like I said, sender and receiver sits between SRT sender and receiver. So in a way, SRT receiver doesn't really know how the packets came through SRTLA receiver, which is really interesting. Anyhow, so if you think, okay, there's SRT sender, it sends stuff into SRTLA sender. Then SRTLA sender can pick different connections. It says, okay, this packet will go through Wi-Fi, through this SIM card number 1. This next packet, it will go to SIM card number 2. So SRTLA can just pick different connections, and it just has logic, like how exactly you pick a connection based on packets in flight, actually. So let's say it gives 20 packets to this one SIM card, and next time you have one packet number 21, it's like, which connection do I give it to send this packet? This other connection has like 5 packets in the queue. This has 20. I will give it to this connection number 1 because it has less things in queue. So kind of like this is called packets in flight or queue. It just like picks. It needs some parameters like how to pick a connection. So one of those are packets in flight. It's one of the parameters based on which it decides which networks to pick. But like I said, SRTLA sender and receiver is relatively simple, and that's what Rational has invented, this SRTLA code. It just has the logic of picking connection based on some criteria. But the packets are the same. It doesn't change packets in any way. It just gets a packet and it can use multiple connections available to send those packets. And then there needs to be SRTLA receiver on the server. So it receives the packets and then hands them over. It does a bit of stuff that SRTLA receiver, I didn't look much into it because it's not part of my app. It's a part of Belabox Cloud, or are those like cloud services for streaming have to implement it. So apparently packets can come out of order, so it needs to keep a bit of a buffer. It has to have some logic of like receiving the packets and doing something with them. Anyhow, like I didn't look too much into SRTLA receiver. And then when the package rearranged and stuff, I guess they are just handed over to SRT receiver. And then from there, it's business as usual. Like SRT receiver just isn't aware that those packets came out, from where it doesn't care. Like all it needs, it takes packets, it unpacks it, it reorders them, and it recreates the like string of zeros and ones. And then those zeros and ones are being fed into demuxer, so video can be separated from audio and stuff like that. So now you know. I think I have some idea to put like a video about it. If maybe some people don't know how that works, I think it's interesting how that works. Maybe I can go like here. Anyhow, but so my LifeStreamer app is one of the implementations. It can encode video, it can produce SRT packets, it has SRT sender, I guess. Some of it is taken care of by French guy, SRT, StreamPack SDK. That guy, I don't know, it's a French I call him Theobald B, but apparently the way you pronounce it, in French, you don't pronounce half of the letters, so the way his name is pronounced is Thibault, which are 2, what do they call, syllables? Thibault B. So Thibault B, great guy as far as I know. He created this StreamPack SDK that I was able to use for the core of my app. So it does, he has this like a StreamPack SDK, and he did like a demo app, which I was able to modify for what I need. He did all the hard work, and then I was able to fit in pieces from Belabox and Moblin, which are open sourced. I mean, Moblin, like I said, I think Moblin had slightly modified version of dynamic/adaptive bitrate. I think for my AI it was a bit easier to work with that. I don't remember why. I think because it's Moblin is written in this language that's a bit closer to Java. I forgot what it's called. Swift. And like I said, everything in Belabox. That SRTLA is sort of its own binary, like a little program. You can run command line, and then Bela Coder is the video encoder part with dynamic bitrate. So it has those two projects, Git repo separately, and then Belabox has also, what's it called? Bela UI. It's a Node.js that actually runs everything. So Belabox sort of consists of those 3 different repositories which are open source, and 2 of those are written in C, which I'm not really an expert on. It's like a very low-level language, but I think it's very readable. Like I enjoyed reading the code of C code. It's very simple. Like it's pretty simple. And of course, Bela UI, it's a Node.js, so I'm familiar with Node.js as well, so that's all. That's all, what's the word? I worked a lot with Node.js, so that's easy for me to understand. So overall, very friendly code basis for my brain. Who's this guy? Wait. But I think my bike seems to have some issue now. Where was I? So like I said, dynamic bitrate, it's licensed, it's the best, it's really good. Dynamic bitrate algorithm from Belabox and rational. It has a requirement that it's like a legal thing, so I guess he can sue. Like, for example, I don't know, let's say IRL Pro app is not open source. So we don't know what he's done there. Like, does that app actually use? Does that app use dynamic bitrate algorithm from Belabox? We don't know. So I guess that's one option, but I guess I don't know. I guess it's like a legal thing. I don't know if Rational will actually sue people who use his algorithm bitrate. He might. He's a serious guy in a way. Actually, he's really good. He did a great work. Like, we don't know his real name, and all the projects he did. I think Belabox is like a trademark and stuff like that. So I think he's really good at this kind of stuff, like hiding his real name, and he registered Belabox as a trademark, so I read in Discord. So I guess he takes it seriously, and he actually runs, you know, he probably makes money from Belabox Cloud, and he was really smart to not open source the good version of receiver, of like SRTLA receiver, which he sells as Belabox Cloud. It's good, it's cheap, it's a good price. I don't know, I think the way he built everything is really good, and he has this UI where you can quickly import settings into most popular IRL apps. Stuff like that. But as for my apps, today you see I have my 3 apps working together. I don't even have to check my... I have a preview on my phone of RTMP from DJI. So I have an idea how it looks like with a bit of a delay, maybe 3-second delay. And then I'm monitoring. I actually haven't checked. It's probably a good... no, I did a quick... It's a good idea to actually do a quick check that your public stream has video and audio. I think I checked it some time ago. And it's almost... actually, usually, recently I've been testing USB source with from different cameras and capture cards, but I think I always prefer the wireless. I think I always like the idea of wireless, and it gives you a lot of freedom of movement, and you can do anything you want with this camera. So today I'm doing wireless. Like I said, all I really have is DJI with the wireless mic. The signal goes, it streams onto my Android phone, which is mounted on my handlebars on my bike. Technically my phone is, you don't really have to have it. It has bonding, and it's on the Wi-Fi. Like I said, from iPhone 8. So it has its own SIM card, and then another SIM card is an iPhone. So it has those 2 connections, and it's, like I said, it's just sends packets into my Bond Bunny app, which essentially has SRTLA sender. And it just sends those packets using 2 connections, cellular and Wi-Fi. To the Belabox Cloud. So from my bike I'm sending things to the SRTLA receiver on the Belabox Cloud. On the Belabox Cloud, this receiver, receives all these packets from multiple connections, and then combines them and gives it to SRTLA receiver. Sorry, SRT receiver. SRTLA receiver hands over packets to SRT receiver, and from there, I guess I can just watch. I think I have some commands how to do it, like anyhow. That can be handed over to the thing which can, so I can connect, I can go to the same Belabox Cloud and watch SRT stream to it. I guess it will technically have another pair of SRT sender and receiver, and so my home computer will apparently has SRT receiver, meaning it's kind of like a player, right? So on OBS, there's a media source feature, and you can OBS at home can watch RTMP, SRT, and maybe a few other protocols, and essentially you can use that as a source. You can use stream as a source, and then rebroadcast it as RTMP. and it can send it directly to, let's say, YouTube or Twitch. But most people, they use I send my RTMP to restreams.io.website, and then that can resend those packets. I imagine they simply have like RTMP relay, so the data I'm sending, they don't have to re-encode. That's why they offer it for free. It actually doesn't cost much to just resend packets. What's expensive is video re-encoding is expensive. But there are some servers, all they do is just resend. They don't have to re-encode. So if they don't have to re-encode your video, which can be sometimes it has what's it called, transmaxing or something, transcoding, yeah. So transcoding is they take your video, re-encode it into a bunch of different resolutions. You know, like YouTube has a 480p, 360p, and other different resolutions. So it actually is expensive, sort of. You have to have the whole computer. You have to have like a powerful computer, or maybe a bunch of computers that can re-encode your video into other resolutions. So that bit is resource intensive. But just resending the packets, like I said, the restream.io, all it does is, I think it's called anyhow, so they just duplicate your packet, and then they send one packet to YouTube, one packet to Twitch. Like, that is actually not that resource intensive. You don't need a lot of CPU or GPU to do that. It's really easy, so that's why they offer that for free, I think. So I'm sending my RTMP packets from OBS to that restream.io, and Restream just resends to YouTube. RTMP, I guess, receiver. Well, RTMP is a bit different, but I guess it also has sort of a receiver. And then YouTube, let's say YouTube or Twitch, they can, like I said, they can do these different resolutions, transcode into different resolutions. And then once you connect, let's say you go to Twitch, that's what you're gonna see. Twitch, your browser has a player. It connects to Twitch RTMP server, and then it's again a pair of senders and receivers, and you just send those packets around back and forth. Mostly it's one way, but there's a bit of communication, like two-way communication, and that's how it all works. Really interesting stuff. Somehow I was really obsessed with it and spent a lot of time on it. Anyhow, but today, yeah, I have all this, like my phone actually re-encodes, so LifeStreamer, since it needs to do dynamic adaptive bitrate, so it needs to monitor. If we're losing packets, it means we need to lower the target bitrate for video encoding. So there's like a little loop that goes and checks, monitors the performance. If we're losing packets, there's a few different parameters that it cares about. Dynamic bitrate is like a small little loop that constantly monitors how you perform it, and it can lower the video encoder bitrate, which is pretty cool. But why I'm saying this, like I said, I think those two are really the core of IRL streaming, the adaptive bitrate. Actually, at first I didn't realize how important that is, and it's not just adaptive bitrate, it's not just SRT, it just has to react quickly, and it has to like lower bitrate really quickly when there are issues, and then it gradually raises it. So I think Rational IRL here really worked out that like formula for it to react quickly. So it's lowering bitrate faster than it's raising bitrate. So it's like you're losing packets. I think that it has like a bunch of different conditions. It figures out like how fast it should lower bitrate, and it's like boom, boom, boom. It's like lower and lower and lower, and then it's like, okay, we are good. We're not losing packets. It starts slowly raising it. So and then Moblin has like its own algorithm, which just works slightly differently. Like checks different things. Oh, lots of branches, tree branches. Oh, actually, I think I have to like, well, technically they should give way to me, but it's a new thing on this intersection. They have this layer of paint that's new, and they put a bunch of new signs. But like I said, LifeStreamer app, I was first focused on the RTMP as source. I didn't have USB, UVC, UAC, all that. And it generally works well. There's when it disconnects, if I stop RTMP now without, if I just stop sending it from camera right now, there's something that sometimes can confuse. I feel like, I don't know, there's something that can make this whole SRT stream go wrong, and it cannot recover. So that's one of the things that happens with like both SRT and RTMP, that sometimes if there's any data corruption or packet was lost, the player in OBS, the receiver, goes into bad state, and it cannot really fix itself, and it just has this like corrupted audio or video. If this like corruption is small, if it's not like, sometimes it can recover the player. I don't know much about players, but all I know is that sometimes there was like a portion of data missing, or it was somehow bad, and it can make the whole playback go crazy, and it can never recover. But sometimes it can fix itself. But they say SRT has some error correction. It like duplicates a bit more. It's an interesting, like there's I watched some of this video that they say QR codes, they have some duplicated data, like part of the QR code might have this extra information that can help recover some of the lost information sometimes. Or maybe each packet has something that it needs to check to verify that all data is there. So there are different ways to know if data was lost or not. But today it's almost boring. Like I said, this was one of the main features of my app. I remember I created the Bond Bunny, like the bonding app that has SRTLA sender. And one second. Like I said, that bonding, all it does is, if it has multiple connections available to it, it just like, all that logic does, it just has a logic like how do you pick a connection to give SRT packet, you know. It's not so I was really excited about that because I could use all the existing video apps. So I really wanted to improve IRL streaming for Android. Like, Android already has a ton of different apps. Some of those apps can do SRT, so you see all of this stuff, it only works with SRT because RTMP is a bit outdated and limited. It works well on good connections, but I don't know even if it can do dynamic adaptive bitrate. I heard to some extent it can. I think to some extent, but it's for what I've seen, it's not really good. But maybe I've seen lots of people stream with like Prism Live Android app, and that's work. I don't know if Prism Live has figured out some adaptive bitrate algorithm on RTMP. If you have that, that's already like, I don't know, let's say 80% of the problem. You can work around if you don't have internet, if it can lower your bitrate, that's great. Bonding in particular is good when you have, like in US, they have one area, they have only like one company cell towers, and then other area, other company cell towers, and they divide the territory like that. So it makes sense for you to have two SIM cards in one area. One SIM card has better reception than the other one. So I feel like it's good for that case. But if you have two SIM cards that are the same and they just have bad reception in one place, then it's not really helping much to have bonding, to be honest. But I feel like I have this like in-depth knowledge on how that works now. And that's interesting. And sometimes it's just one connection is, if it's really bad, I think there's like a comment in the SRTLA code or something. Yeah, this place sucks. You have to cross this. There are a few places where I have to cross the road with cars. And it's not great. But that's one of the... I heard there are a few places in Sydney where there are some good cycle paths now. There's, what's it called, Green... There's this new place that opened up. Yeah, but I guess I would need to put a bike into my car and drive there and then ride my bicycle there, because it's hard. Some of these places are disconnected. It's really, it's not a good idea to go on bicycle there, to be honest. But this is considered one of the main cycle paths in Sydney. That's like pretty good without cars. Where was I? And then also something I will have to explain to people, that with the USB, UVC on Android, each phone or device has this like a layer called HAL or HAL, hardware abstraction layer or something. And that has a lot of logic how to handle USB. In particular, that level handles a lot of it, and it's like I have no control over it. So I cannot control that layer. Video, I think I have some native libraries. Okay, am I still live? I need to check. But today is good for RTMP from DJI because there's a bit of drizzle. Okay, I think we're back online. I feel like sections of the cycle path, the reception is not as good. And actually my iPhone is kind of doing too much work. It's also playing my whole stream on YouTube. And it also, I use it as one of the connections, right, to publish my stream. So I feel like there's a chance that sometimes I suspect iPhone might struggle. It might be losing packets. So like I said, one of the issues, like the image and audio can glitch out when the packets are lost. That means some device is doing too much work. It might like not be able to keep up. It might lose packets. And overall, the way let's say the LifeStreamer app, it doesn't know anything about bonding, sort of. From the perspective of the app, it has SRT sender. All that does, it packs zeros and ones into packets. So it's really a text string of zeros and ones. You chop it into chunks and you wrap it into packet. So packet has some information like IP, destination IP of the server. It has some headers. It has like some extra information. It's like it has a number of this chunk, and it has a bit of extra information about this data. And so that receiver of this SRT packet can like put these packets back into, if they come out of order or something, it can put it back into sequence, so that when the thing that stitches together So there's a thing that SRT receiver will like unpack all the packets and try to put zeros and ones back into one line of zeros and ones. I've never been on here, which is interesting. I'll need to find a way to go back on the cycle path. And today, I never tried this, but today my target is 7. So since I'm doing with, my phone is not really powerful, so I usually do SRT HEFC. If I do HEFC or H.265, it's the same thing, right? HEFC, aka H.265. If I maybe we can go check out that church or something. What I'm trying to say, I can hear the audio struggles a bit. It could be that my phone is having struggle encoding and doing everything at this bitrate. Interesting. Do you see the church? I like it. Anyhow, there's a bit of rain. Actually, my phone, I opened it too many times, so the glue is not that good. Oh, it starts to rain like really hard. I have to finish now. Anyhow, I covered lots of topics. I don't know if anyone's gonna watch this, but it was good. Like I said, the highlight is I'm doing RTMP source today. I raised the target bitrate for my phone. Like you see, with H.264 compared to HEFC, it has to do a bit less work, so I can raise the bitrate to 7, and I think it worked most of the time. I'll have to go home and check. But actually, I wanted to say I'm getting to the point where I'm getting a bit tired of like working with all these tools. I feel like I want to finish. I feel like I want to finish building this app, which I think I've pretty much finished already. I'm trying to finish. I guess I'm still finishing, but it's already very close to finish. RTMP works. I didn't touch this RTMP source functionality for a long time. Dynamic bitrate works, bonding works, so I don't know. I thought if everything works, I might as well spread it a bit more. There are some edge cases where I know, like I said, when I stop RTMP source stream before switching, like there's a chance RTMP player receives some corrupted data or something, and then it can glitch out. Overall, it works most of the time. I know I can do like long 1 hour streams, 1.5 hour streams, and it doesn't crash. It, like I said, I am using multiple connections. SRTLA works. Bonding works, dynamic bitrate works. So I think I was able to make it work. I don't know. I have many people, they write me, there's some things don't work, but some I think I need to change that. Change the image. 1212. Probably